What's up, YouTube? My name is Anand. I'm with the Parametrics Trading Group. And before we get started today, we are not investment advisors, and nothing in Parametrics Trading Group services, website, emails, or trade signals should be seen as a solicitation or an offer to buy or sell. If you would like more information about this disclaimer, be sure to visit our homepage and click on the disclaimer link at the bottom of the page. So excited that you can join us for part 2 of a 3-part series on how to choose a winning crypto coin. Once again, we're discussing virtual currency, and our intention is to provide you with quality content to empower you before getting involved in any coin. We have witnessed how volatile these new markets are, and so our mission is to keep you safe in the crypto space. There's a lot I can talk about in terms of Bitcoin price speculation, technical graph analysis, or individual coin reviews, but this part 2 will be a video covering how to understand a coin's technical specs as part of your due diligence. Originally, part 2 was going to be how to apply a formula valuation to a crypto coin, and so I'm saving that for part 3. How to choose a winning crypto coin, understanding coin specs, part 2. The first technical spec that I'd like to talk about is a genesis block. All cryptocurrencies have a genesis block, and it is also known as block 0 of the coin, and is the ancestor that every other block in the chain can trace its lineage back to. The genesis block is the backbone of the entire coin's technical system and the origin of the coin itself. If every transaction with the coin were like a branch, then all those branches would eventually lead back to the genesis block, which is the root. It should be viewed as a source code for the coin and where blockchain transactions began. So the genesis block also contains the date of the ICO for the coin, as well as technical information about the algo that the coin is running on. And the algo is the algorithm is the most important feature of a crypto coin. The algo platform of a coin is the software mechanism that verifies transactions on the blockchain. This sets the protocol for mining, which is a critical process to settle transactions and can be done in several ways. The first is the POW method, the proof of work algo. Miners compete to verify and add transactions to the blockchain. And in a POS method, a proof of stake algo, mining transactions are based on coin ownership, and miners vote to reach a consensus. So this is similar to a stock dividend in equities, where the greater number of shares that you have in a company's stock, then the greater voting rights that you have, and the more power that you have because of that ownership. So in all proof types, the algo's hashing function takes a chunk of data as input and shrinks it down into a smaller hash value, in this case 256 bits. And so what I've done here is I've listed a sampling of some of the major coins and the algorithms that they run on, along with the proof type that they're using. So in a proof of work process, in a proof of work mining model, the miners with high-powered computers are competing against other miners to solve complex math equations. These equations are a product of the encryption designed to protect transaction data on the digital ledger. So the first miner solve these equations, and in the process, verified transactions on the ledger gets a reward, which is known as a block reward. The reward is paid out in virtual coins and is an example of how POW mining rewards are paid out, and an example of how Bitcoin transactions are verified. The other major verification process in mining is known as the POS mining model, or the proof of stake. With proof of stake, there is no competition among your peers and no excessive energy usage while solving complex equations, which can make it a much more cost-effective algo model in comparison to the proof of work mining model. So the upside of this POS is that it is much less taxing in terms of energy consumption. And in a POS model, staking is a process your wallet uses to validate transactions and award you with tokens. So when your wallet is staking, it is checking transactions to make sure who sends tokens actually owns those tokens and had the right to transfer them. If most of the wallets online agree that the transaction is valid, then it gets accepted by the blockchain's network. The POS model chooses who gets to verify the next block of transactions based on their ownership in a virtual currency. So the more you own, the better chance you have of receiving the mining transaction to work on. And the proof of stake model also rewards those miners who verify transactions differently. So instead of being paid in virtual coins, the stakeholder earns the transaction fees tied to that block of transactions once the transaction has been completed. And this is very similar, once again, to the equity stock dividend example that I gave earlier. So moving on to the cryptocurrency algorithms, I just want to go over some of the the three major algorithms that are being used on some of the top coins. And the SHA-256 algorithm was developed by the NSA and is the most popular for being the mining algo for Bitcoin. SHA-256 standard generates a 256-bit hash. This not only encrypts the data, but it also standardizes the size. The hash rate for the SHA-256 is usually computed in gigahash per second, or GH. And so this 256 algo supports the blockchain network through the proof of work mining model. And the X11 algo, this algo uses 11 hashing functions from the Blake algo to the Keysack algo, making it very secure and incredibly energy efficient. One of the biggest benefits of the X11 is the energy efficiency. The GPUs require approximately 30% less wattage and run 30 to 50% cooler than they do with Script. X11's hash rate is measured by megahashes per second, MH, or 1 million hash computations per second. And the X11 algo supports the blockchain network through the proof of work model as well. So now the Script algo, this algo is quicker and more simple of the two. And as new virtual currencies are being introduced, more of them are favoring this algo over 256 or Script because it's much easier to run on an already existing CPU and uses even less energy than SHA-256. So as a result, it's favored by most individual miners right now. And in comparison to the SHA-256 algo, Script's hash rates for successful coin mining range in the kilohashes, KH, or megahashes per second, MH. And mining transactions can be achieved with average computers without the need of powerful ASIC machines or additional hardware. So some argue this simpler system is more susceptible to security issues since fast transaction turnaround times can mean the system is taking a less thorough look at the data. So its advocates point out, however, that this hasn't really presented a real-world problem. And so this is just an overview of the algorithms that are being used in these these popular coins and the associated proof type that the algo is using. And moving on here, the next technical spec that I wanted to talk about is the block reward, which I just mentioned just now, is simply the amount of coin that a miner receives for successfully mining and validating a transaction on the blockchain via a POW algo model. So these amounts differ from coin to coin. Bitcoin, for example, rewards miners with 12.5 Bitcoin for successfully mining a block transaction. And in a POS model, the miners are rewarded differently. They're rewarded by receiving transaction fees once they've successfully completed a transaction. And sometimes these will be percentage fees that are paid out month to month. And so the next technical spec, moving on here, is the block height. And the block height simply is just the number of blocks connected together in the blockchain. Height 0, for example, refers to the very first block in the chain, and that is referring back to the Genesis block. And the block time of a crypto coin, this technical spec measures how long it will take the hashing power of the network to find a solution to the block hash. The block time is an average time. The difficulty is calculated proportionally to the hashing power, so that on average the block time is 10 minutes for Bitcoin. In reality, block times can vary. It is different for each cryptocurrency, and for example, the Bitcoin block time is 10 minutes, and Ethereum's block time is 20 seconds. So there's quite a large efficiency difference between how fast the Ethereum transaction occurs compared to the Bitcoin transaction. And so the other technical spec that is important to note whenever you are wanting to understand the technical foundation of a coin is the coin reward maturity. And what this is the number of block confirmations that need to be reached in order for their coins to become spendable. So whenever you have miners who are doing transactions and looking to be rewarded, the coin reward maturity is simply the number of confirmations that need to be satisfied or reached in order for them to be paid out and for their coins to become spendable. The difficulty retarget. This is a measurement of the fluctuating difficulty of mining the coin. Depending on whether the coin's hash rate increases, the difficulty will change. So what is changing is the required result of a hashing function. As the difficulty goes up, the required result shrinks. And as it goes back down, the required result increases. With the smaller numbers, it takes more time and power to get the result. In the case of Bitcoin blockchains, this retargeting system currently happens every 2016 blocks. The annual POS rate. So once a POS coin is acquired, it has the benefit of accruing interest, similar to the stock dividend example of getting paid out. And so this should be viewed as an interest that the miner is receiving. And so a coin with a POS rate of 25% simply means that you will get 25% annual interest for staking your coins. And so with the POS stake model, the rewarding mechanism that's in place is quite different than the POW method. The last technical spec that I wanted to mention in how to choose a winning crypto coin is the minimum and maximum stake age. This is just the amount of time that your coins need to reside in your wallet before becoming eligible for interest rewards. These limits do two things. The minimum age requires you to hold your tokens for a certain amount of time so that no single person can excessively buy large volumes of the coin and have them stake repeatedly for nearly every block and therefore dominate the staking for that coin. And so what this does is it encourages miners to hold their tokens for a certain amount of time and discourage that one single player to develop a type of monopoly in mining those blocks. The maximum age encourages users to stake by leaving their wallet open frequently. And by doing this, one can acquire a large sum of the coin, close the wallet for 6 months, and then open it to find their tokens have a huge weighted age. Instead, their token age would be the same as someone who had held the token for only a week. And so that is the minimum and maximum stake age. And that is the specs that I wanted to go over. You know, there are so many more technical specs that are related to a crypto coin. And in this part 2 series of Understanding Coin Specs, I just wanted to share with you the most important features of a coin that would give you a good grasp of the technical aspect of the coin, all with the intention of being able to value the coin by having a better understanding of the technical platform. So I do hope you found that helpful, and I want to thank you for joining me. If you did find this information useful, be sure to tap the like button below and be sure to click on the subscribe button below so I can bring you more information.